It was a crisp autumn morning when Emma rode out to the fields with her horse, Thunder. The sun had just begun to rise, casting a golden glow over the land. The leaves were starting to turn, and there was a sense of serenity in the air. Emma had spent years developing a bond with Thunder, a strong, majestic horse with a sleek black coat and piercing eyes. Their relationship had evolved from a simple owner-pet dynamic to something far deeper, something that couldn't easily be put into words. Thunder had become her confidant, her partner, and her closest friend. Emma had always been an avid rider. From a young age she had learned the ins and outs of horseback riding, and as she grew older she began training with Thunder to compete in local events. Thunder had always been a calm, steady horse, known for his reliability and responsiveness. The two of them made a great team and together they had won several ribbons at local competitions. But today was different. Today was about just being with Thunder, taking in the beauty of the land and enjoying each other's company without any pressure. Emma guided Thunder along the trail, letting him roam at his own pace. The air was cool but pleasant, and the rhythmic sound of Thunder's hooves on the dirt path was calming. Emma loved these quiet mornings. It was during these moments that she could truly connect with Thunder, free from distractions and the chaos of everyday life. As they approached the edge of the woods, Emma decided to give Thunder a little more freedom. The path became steeper, with uneven rocks and thick brush lining the sides. Thunder was a skilled rider, and Emma trusted him completely. She had ridden this path countless times, and it always felt like a safe, familiar route. But that morning something felt different. The wind had picked up, and the usual tranquility of the woods seemed to have shifted. Without warning, Thunder suddenly tensed. His ears perked up, and his eyes darted toward something in the distance. Emma didn't know what had caused the change, but she could feel a shift in the horse's demeanor. Thunder was no longer the calm, steady companion she had always known. He was on high alert, his body rigid beneath her. "Thunder, what's wrong?" Emma murmured, trying to soothe him. She tugged gently on the reins, but Thunder wouldn't budge. Instead he backed up, his hooves scraping the dirt. Emma tried again, giving him a light nudge, but Thunder remained still, his eyes locked on something ahead. Just as Emma was about to dismount and check the situation, she heard a faint rustling in the bushes. A few seconds later, a large, wild boar burst out from the trees, charging directly at them. It was a rare sight, but the woods weren't unfamiliar with wild animals. Emma's heart raced as the boar barreled toward them, its tusks gleaming in the sunlight. Thunder immediately reacted, rearing up on his hind legs to protect Emma. The horse's powerful movements were swift and calculated. He turned his body slightly, positioning himself between Emma and the charging boar. Emma's instincts kicked in, and she clung tightly to Thunder's mane as he twisted and spun, trying to get out of the boar's path. The boar, however, wasn't deterred. It continued to charge forward, its eyes wild with aggression. Thunder fought back with everything he had, but as he sidestepped to avoid the boar, Emma lost her balance. She felt herself begin to topple from the saddle, her grip slipping. In that split second she realized she was going to fall, and the ground beneath her was rocky and uneven. Time seemed to slow as Emma struggled to keep her balance. She had ridden many horses before, but she had never experienced a situation like this. Thunder was still trying to protect her, but he was now focused on the boar, trying to fend it off. Emma's heart raced as she realized there was no way she could regain her footing on the saddle. The fall was inevitable. As she started to fall, she could hear Thunder's frantic whinnies, but her body seemed to move in slow motion. She reached out instinctively, but it was too late. She felt herself tumbling off the side of Thunder, her body hitting the ground with a sickening thud. Pain shot through her as she tried to push herself up, but the world around her blurred. Her head was spinning and the impact had left her dizzy. She could hear Thunder's hooves pounding the ground as he continued to fight the boar. But just as she thought she might lose consciousness, something miraculous happened. Thunder, despite his focus on the boar, managed to turn his head back toward Emma. His instincts kicked in and with surprising agility he galloped toward her. The boar, momentarily distracted by Thunder's movement, hesitated for just a moment, but that moment was all Thunder needed. Thunder reached Emma in a flash, his powerful body blocking the boar from getting any closer. With his body pressed protectively against her, Thunder used his strong hooves to push the boar back, finally getting it to retreat into the woods. Emma, lying on the ground, could hear the boar crashing through the brush, but Thunder didn't stop there. He continued to stand over her, his head low, his body poised as if ready to defend her at all costs. For a moment, everything was still. The only sound Emma could hear was Thunder's heavy breathing and the rustling of the leaves in the wind. She felt his warmth as he stood protectively by her side, his body a shield between her and the danger that had almost taken her life. "Thunder," she whispered, her voice shaky from the adrenaline and pain. She struggled to push herself up, but her body wouldn't respond. The fall had taken more out of her than she realized. Thunder, sensing her distress, leaned down and nudged her gently with his nose, his eyes filled with concern. Emma managed a small smile as she placed a hand on his strong neck, feeling his warmth and the steady beat of his heart. Despite the pain, Emma was overwhelmed by gratitude. Thunder had saved her. Minutes later, the shelter of the trees began to offer some relief. The pain in Emma's body was beginning to settle, though she still couldn't move her leg without discomfort. Thunder, ever faithful, stood beside her, his calm presence offering a sense of security. He didn't leave her side, not for a moment. Emma reached up to him, her hand trembling as she stroked his mane. "I'm okay," she murmured, though she wasn't entirely sure she was. "You saved me, Thunder. You saved me." As time passed, Thunder didn't leave Emma's side. It was clear that, despite the intensity of the situation, Thunder had stayed by her, not just out of instinct, but out of loyalty and a deep bond they had formed over the years. Emma eventually managed to sit up, and with Thunder's support she was able to stand and carefully limp back toward the path that led to their home. The journey back was slow and Emma was in considerable pain, but Thunder stayed close to her, walking beside her and offering his support. When they reached home, Emma's husband, Liam, was waiting for them. The worry in his eyes quickly shifted to relief when he saw Emma was alive, though it was obvious she had been through something traumatic. "Thunder," Liam whispered, placing a hand on the horse's shoulder as he led Emma inside. "You saved her, didn't you?" Emma nodded, her eyes brimming with gratitude as she looked at Thunder. "He saved my life, Liam. I don't know how to thank him." Thunder stood quietly by her side, his head lowered, sensing the depth of the connection between them. He had always been there for her, on every ride, through every practice, and in every moment of doubt. But this time, Thunder had gone beyond what anyone could expect. He had become not just her companion but her protector. It was a bond that could never be broken. In the weeks that followed, Emma's injuries healed, but the story of what had happened that day would never leave her. Thunder's bravery, his selflessness, and his unwavering loyalty became something of legend in their small town. Emma would tell the story over and over again, each time feeling more amazed by the horse who had saved her life. Thunder had been more than just a horse. He had been her guardian, her friend, and the miracle she never knew she needed.